Hey guys, welcome back. And if you are new, welcome. My name is Mandy, and today I wanted to go over something different than planner stuff, but I definitely end up putting it into my planner every week. So today we're going over how I am. I'm not saying I have it together, but how I am really trying to work on that high cortisol level, high stress feeling. A few months ago, I went to a functional medicine doctor and I got some test results, and my cortisol was pretty high. It's kind of hard to explain, but I basically start off with it really high in the morning when you usually kind of wake up with it. Maybe it's high, but then it goes back down, and mine never really goes back down. So that was very confirmation, I guess, that I do have somewhat of a stressful lifestyle, I guess. It is not, I'm not trying to say like I'm not out on the streets protecting people or anything like that. I just have kids who need me all day long at different times of the day that are still young and don't know that maybe I need a moment, or it's not time to interrupt, and I end up finding myself into like doing, like, honestly, sometimes 10 things in the moment all at once, and my brain just kind of, is everywhere in that case. And when you have that feeling or any type of stress feeling, I wasn't really getting a good night's sleep. I wasn't really waking up feeling like motivated for the day. And I still deal with all of that, but I did want to get on here and just share just some ways that I am kind of dealing with that. And some of these things are things that I've researched. Some of these things are things that were advised to me. And some of these things are just things that maybe they were partially advised in a way, and then I kind of worked it out for what works for my schedule and the people that I do have help from or whatever. So I have my notes here. I am going to look down at them, and I'm probably not going to edit this video every time I look down at them either, because that's just too much for me to do. And I am glad to be here. I only have so much time, so I figured I have my cup of coffee here. I also have my water. So, and so it doesn't cool off too much, I'm probably going to sip some coffee. So if you guys want to grab something to drink or eat and join me, let's talk about how I am trying to keep my cortisol levels down and not stress out. So the first thing, and these aren't in any particular order, but something that I had to do, and I had to be okay with it, is be okay with not getting up earlier. So one of the things that you really need to do when you have high stress levels is make sure you're getting a good amount of sleep, getting a good night's sleep. And I'm working on that. Many of you guys know I have lower back issues, which I'm working through as well. That doesn't really help my stress, right? And I'll go to bed feeling pretty good, but then in the middle of the night, I can tell that I don't know, my back probably just needs to be my body needs to be moving or something. So then I'm okay with getting up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. It kind of moves my joints a bit, but I'll wake up still a little bit sore. It's not horrible. I can kind of be grateful that I'm not, that I'm just a little bit sore, because I have, and at times just woken up horribly. But I try to make sure that I get a good amount of sleep. So I think, and maybe this isn't right, but I know people say at least like 6 to 7 hours. For me, I really think I need 8 to 9 hours. I know I'd be fine if I got really good sleep. And maybe it would be nice for my body to get up earlier. Sometimes I think back to when I had to get up for work. And I just, you just get up, you do it, and then you don't really feel that your body, I don't really think about my back, and I just had to get up and go. But I'm very glad that I get a little bit more sleep now that I've decided to stay home with the kids and homeschool them. But I think that I'm that person that kind of needs like a good 8 or 9 hours a day. So to do that, I'm just trying to go to bed by a decent hour. I'm trying to be relaxing before I'm, actually going to bed. I try not to have my mind going on anything. I don't really do anything on my phone or, work-wise or anything like that. I really actually don't like doing that anyways, because I do know it makes my brain kind of go, go, go. If I watch something, and I know they say not to watch anything, but usually that's like the only time I get with my husband is to, right be after the kids go to bed. And we'll try to watch like just like a funny, relaxing show. It's nothing, I can't watch drama or anything like that. So kind of evaluate that about yourself. Are you able to go right to sleep, after whatever you do at night to get that sleep? I know they say to make sure that you have like no light in your space. I do have some light because I have monitors on the kids. But I definitely, try to limit that and just try to get a good night's sleep. But also, don't get me wrong, I still am hoping to try to get up earlier so I can get my workout in, because I'm kind of finding that even though I have an appointment with myself around 1 o'clock to do a workout, it's not really happening until 2, and that pushes a lot of things back. So my hope is that I can get back to getting up early enough to read my Bible and do a workout before I get going for the day. It's just with having darker mornings, my body needs that sleep, or I think it's telling me it needs the sleep. So it's taken me a little bit, but I've been okay, and I've accepted that I'm not going to get up early in the morning. And I think it's okay. If you need that okay, I'm going to give you that okay, because you're not the only one that isn't able to get up early in the morning, and it may not be the right thing. It may not work out for you or for everyone. And I know I do want that, because I could probably fit so much more into my day, but it's okay if it's causing me stress to not get up early in the morning. So the next thing that I have is that I mentioned it in just a few minutes ago, is that I try to schedule time for myself. And this isn't just, like, oh, today at some point I'm going to take myself away for 5 minutes. I actually am looking over our schedule. I've had to cut back a little bit on our afternoon school to take care of myself, because I was doing school with my kids, and I was basically saying, like, oh, we got so much to get through that we were taking the whole afternoon, and I didn't have like a cutoff because I had so much to get through. And, if I plan an hour, it usually takes an hour and a half and all of that. So I actually looked over my schedule, and luckily I do have my mom's help because she lives with us. I try not to use her help too much or more than, I think that I would normally if we didn't live together. But I do use her twice a week for about 3 hours. I take a morning time for myself one day, and then another day of the week I do an afternoon time for myself. And usually I'm working on stuff like this or getting my workout in at that point, or maybe I'm just, laying on my bed trying to relax. But I actually have that scheduled in for myself now. And just the action of actually scheduling it in and knowing that I have something scheduled for myself every week has really helped with my stress levels, I think. I mean, I don't have, I haven't tested them or anything, but I do feel a lot better. I've accepted some things that like I'm not going to be doing with my kids that afternoon school block. So when I do my afternoon school blocks the other days, I make sure that we do what we need to do and that we have fun and relax. And I just kind of let go of the things that I know I'm not going to get to do. And that's okay, because I'm taking care of myself. I enjoy creating and sharing. So it's kind of like a block of time that I call for myself. I might call it my work block with my family, but it's definitely a time where I can be to myself without interruption. So scheduling that no interruption time, I think, is really important. When my mom goes to visit my brother or goes, out of town or isn't here, I still am going to try to stick with that. It's just might have to shift a little bit depending on my daughter. Maybe it can be while she's napping, but I just want to make sure that I'm still taking those breaks for myself. I may not be able to do a 3-hour break, but I definitely want to at least keep those going. and then just taking time, you know, to relax. I've also made sure to schedule in times that even when I am around my kids, I have like a walk on the treadmill time for the day. Every day that I'm home anyways at that time, it's like between 10 and 11. At some point I need to take like a 20 to 30 minute walk on the treadmill. And if it ends up being more, that's happened too, and it's been okay. And then in the afternoon, I have between 1 and 2 at some point, I need to start a workout. And that is giving me that leeway to basically be like, well, if we got home late, lunch got pushed back, my daughter's nap got pushed back, and I didn't get to start working out till 1:40 or something, and that's okay. So just giving myself those like thresholds and you know, that leeway time, but scheduling that time in. And if I don't get to it, it's okay. Yes, I'm a goal-driven person, and I'm like, I'm supposed to get to that. I can easily let some things go and say, oh, I'll just do them at another time. And then obviously I didn't schedule it for that time, so that's going to be harder. But I also am learning to just kind of let that go and be okay with it. So planning time for myself and putting it in the schedule. And I think going over your like routine, I have many videos on that, but just taking a piece of paper and writing down like 7, 8, 9, 10, all the times of the day, and just going over your routine or your typical routine, or maybe you have different routines on different days and doing a different one for those days. I think it's really important, and I think it's nice to see the blocks where we actually don't have as much going on. I know we do have a lot going on though. It's not that we don't have much going on. It's just like, for example, between 10 and 12, typically we don't have a lot happening. So my kids are usually playing, or, you know, we go somewhere to the park or something. However, so many things do happen in that block. So I'm not saying nothing's happening, but in that's why I chose that block to do a walk on the treadmill. A half an hour should be okay for myself between that time. So, okay, another thing, hang on, I'm gonna get another sip of my coffee. Another thing that I am doing differently now is it deals with my workouts. I really love a good get your heart rate up, get your body sweating, my face gets red kind of workout. I really do. But because of my back, because of my, you know, my knees hurting, my joints, you know, whatever's going on, and my cortisol, I really apparently should not be doing very intense workouts like that. And if I'm being honest with you, if I do them, not every single one, but eventually my body, my joints and my muscles aren't able to handle it, and I end up hurting myself. And that's how I've been hurting my back over and over again. So what I'm doing now is just, instead of intense, like, I put here like jarring movements, I'm doing more isometric body weight, or I'm doing strength training. I'm building back up to, you know, heavier weights, but I have to be very careful with my lower back and my pelvic floor. So I'm kind of working on that as well. And I'm not pushing myself to do heavy weights, but going slow and steady with a weight, being gentle on my joints. And I am working my muscles, you guys, probably more than I was before, because I haven't done a squat in a very long time. Bulgarian squats, I guess, you know, or just kind of like slow, it's not even like a full back lunge, but just, I encourage you, if you are finding that you can't work out, and your workouts are causing you more stress, or at least more stress on your body, to try slower movements, and just isometric holding or pulses, or looking for workout programs that do that for you. Because those, even, I'm not even like, people don't say like do a fast squat, but those like squat jumps and even just regular squats, like the programs I've been following just aren't going slow enough. And honestly, the squat I've just noticed is just not doing well with my knees anyway, or my back. But just listening to my body as well. I do walks on the treadmill. I haven't gotten to do running. I'm hoping that eventually if I can lose some weight, then maybe I can start jogging or something because I do like it. But with the stress that is causing some inflammation in my body, it's okay that I can't do a super intense workout. And it took me a while to be okay with that, but that's where I'm at. And I'm doing a lot more gentle workouts. It's actually working out really nice because when I do think of getting up in the morning and doing a workout, the workouts I've been doing, I've been a lot more okay with getting up and doing those as opposed to getting up and feeling like, oh man, I gotta go 100% in like 5 minutes and I just woke up. These other ones are easing me into the workout. I'm doing breathing and like brain and body connection breathing, little stretching, especially for my hips and stuff. And it's really kind of a nice way to wake up in the morning. And then if I can't finish it or something, I can go back to it later. It's not like I have to find a way to get my heart rate back up there. So that's something I'm doing a lot differently, and I'm really loving that. The breathing and the breathing and like reconnecting before but after a workout is a really big thing, and I'm trying to incorporate that breathing into my daily as well. I get it because when I first started thinking of breathing, I'm like, I don't have time to just like go into a room quiet with nobody around or the ability to do that and just like breathe. But the more that I think I'm doing, the more that I'm learning with it and like thinking about it more, the more it's part of my lifestyle, I guess, the easier it is to kind of randomly do stuff like that. So the workouts and less intense workouts and breathing are a big thing that I've started and incorporated in my life that I never did before. And I do feel like it's helping with my stress levels. I've been doing this for a while, but this is for my back, but it's also really nice to just kind of like know that when I wake up, I'm going to move my body this way is stretching so I get out of bed. I kind of walk my body around. I might brush my teeth, go to the bathroom, and just kind of like get my body moving, but maybe make my bed, and then I'll do about a 10-minute stretch routine. It started out at like 3 minutes and then 5 minutes, and then I added a couple things on, and now it's at 10 to 15 minutes. And 15 minutes, I'm like, is it really? But sometimes I look at the clock and I'm like, have I been stretching that long? But I definitely think that that has been really helpful for my back, and it's not having my back be so much in pain when I get up helps my stress levels, and just stretching in general and breathing. So I would, consider if maybe you have a little bit of time in the morning to stretch your body out. That's something I'm doing, and I think it's been helpful. All right, the other thing is being okay with not doing all the things and being okay to take this winter to rest. I was okay with not putting my Christmas decorations away right away. Matter of fact, we have a Christmas, like a small cheap Christmas tree in our bedroom, which is where I'm at, and it's still up. I like the lighting, it's relaxing, but I'm also not stressed about like putting everything away. Now, do I want the visual clutter? No. I do have to make sure that I don't have too much visual clutter because that stresses me out. So setting that time aside that I talked about before, or making sure, because that's all just during the week. So during the weekends, I might make sure that when my husband's home, I can set some time aside to put some things away, or even just taking, like, we don't do school, like bookwork school on Friday. So Fridays, I take that time to like clean up the house and stuff. And it's not every Friday because we do have a lot of different things we do on Fridays that aren't like, it's not an every Friday the same thing. But just kind of making sure that when I realize that I'm having trouble with it, I quickly try to schedule a day, and I don't feel rushed in the moment. I tell myself we're going to schedule a day, maybe this Friday or sometime this weekend, and I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go through that. I just scheduled time to take our Christmas tree ornaments off the tree, and I didn't take the tree down. I did it in small amounts so I didn't feel really overwhelmed. And then just being okay to like rest and just ease back into life after Christmas and the New Year. So my kind of thing with January is, I'm finding, is if I feel like I can or want to or need to do all the things, you know, go on our hikes on Fridays. It's been cold, so we haven't been doing that, but you know, clean the house, go to the park, do projects, then I do them. But if I feel like overwhelmed by them, I listen to that and I realize, hey, it's not only just winter, but right now it's winter and it's okay to rest. It's okay to be cold and want to curl up and hibernate, because you don't really do that in the summer. Once spring hits and the time changes, for sure, we are busy with sports and that it's lighter later. So I do have a little bit more energy. So just kind of recognizing that about myself and what season that we're in life and stuff, and just being okay with resting and being home. That's really kind of one of the things that I've been able to help with my stress, is being okay with resting. And I don't want to just say like, don't say yes to everything, or say, you know, be okay with saying no, but listening to yourself. And when somebody, you know, invites you to something or whatever, and you kind of get this feeling of like, I want to go, but I also really don't, because there's so much that I'm dealing with right now. Kind of praying about it, talking to a loved one about it. Don't just feel like you have to go because everybody's going. I have that feeling too a lot, like I'm going to miss out on something, but really listening to what your feelings and your thoughts are about that. One more is my environment. I try, this is when I get really worried or anxious or frustrated, I try to sit down, and this is something I researched and read about. I don't remember where I got this, and it said, look around your environment. Do you think something horrible is going to happen right then and there? Probably not. So try to, you know, remind yourself that you're in a safe space, that you're in a good place, and that you are okay. And just, you know, that I just thought that was interesting, and I thought that I would share that because I never really knew or thought about that. And I do get a little anxious, especially with like weather and stuff. So being new to Kansas here as well, and I really had to like put that on the list here because I didn't know about that. But I liked it. So just kind of looking around and realizing that like you're okay, you're in okay space. So breathe through that. And this is my last thing that I'm doing to try to lower my stress and cortisol levels, is breathing, praying, and having gratitude. And I know I talked a lot about breathing, but really just like trying, just not being like, I have to have a formal prayer, but just talking to God, trying to listen to what he's got to say to me. I don't have it all down, and I really need to lean into him more, and just being thankful. I do have a gratitude or memory keeper that I like to fill in each day, but even just having a moment of gratitude in the moment and thinking of just like, I'm thankful that I have my family. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful I get to be here, even though I feel stressed. Like, this is what I want to be doing. And it really isn't that stressful. It's just that in the moments when you're being called by everybody in the house that you feel stressful, you feel stressed out. But I know we are all in different places, and that's not everybody else's situation. Many of you are in way higher level stress situations. So maybe some of these things will be encouraging and helpful to you. I sure hope so. If not, you know, I'd love to hear about what you guys do to lower your stress levels and what you've maybe done when you've realized that your cortisol is high. I would love for you guys to share that with me and others out there. So if you could leave those in the comments below, I'd love it. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you liked the video. If you did, can you hit the like button for me and subscribe if you haven't already? I do lots of planner stuff, but I also like to incorporate just life in general, my health journey stuff, homeschool and stuff like that. So, you know, just being a mom as well. And I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, and I'll see you guys for the next one.